I learned a long time ago that life is really what you make it. If you want life to be sweet, it'll be sweet. If you want it to be tough, it'll be tough. If you lay down on yourself, just down on yourself. If you make a fool and a fool let you make them a fool, then you got a fool. But when you standing in the presence of the truth, there are no cracks. You can't penetrate the armor. I'm not about that fussing. I'm not about that debating. I'm here for love. I'm here to help the people. Let the angels of death do what they do. Yeah, the messenger. That's right. I'm just a messenger. That's right. Pay attention to the story here. I'm only going to tell it once. Scruffily made. I'm part of the game, but the game defamed me, so I had to maintain. Push back on the other side to let them know when it come to war, I'm ready to ride. But not the war you thinking about. That's man-made. I'm on spiritual, lifted nature. Then the laws that govern that, that's what it is. I can't transcend. I gotta stand on that. 10 toes down with 10 fingers. I'm all grounded. I see the cosmos open up for me, a treasure. Because everything that I invest is nothing but love, prosperity, and joy. Don't make me get crazy in this mode. Because my kind of crazy would drive you crazy and make you go insane. Because I don't speak on it. I just sit up in the booth and thank God for everything he gave me. I mean the love and the behavior. I had to go there. I paid a heavy price, man, to go there. Yeah, I descended into hell, then ascended, and I'm here. Don't get it confused. Like, I don't spend my everyday hating on people. I don't spend my everyday trying to be a follower of anybody but the truth. I recognize the truth in people, but I also recognize that social construct, social engineering, still got us in these negative program mentalities, man. What kind of love do you want? The kind of love that hurt or the kind of love that make you feel special, all bubbly inside? Give me the kind that hurt, because that's the kind that major and teach a major lessons. My profession, lay it down, take it. I can't take it, I break it up, and I can't but fake it. For nobody, I got to be me, the Icon6, and I'm free. Can't tie me down.
What's going on, my people up in here, man? It is another episode about to get ready to go down. Yes, indeed. You had to come in with some of those freestyle by your favorite icon.
I ain't talking about you. I'm talking about me.
We are the City Network in here.
Diss you. Don't diss me.
Circle of the Gods, .6 on point on deck.
For real.
Yes.
This is how we live.
Let's do it. All right, man. I had to go ahead and do it, you know what I'm saying? So we can get into the mode and get into the mix. First and foremost, giving our praises to the Most High for life, health, and strength, and for giving me another opportunity to come through these airways to share my mind, my experiences, information. As I've been into this mode of giving, sharing with my family and friends and those that I'm meeting in social media. Some of the things that help shape my mind in the way of positive building of the self community, you know, so self-improvement, the basis for community development, something that I partook in a course of study while I was in federal prison, through the Nation of Islam, Brother Minister Louis Farrakhan, and shout out to Brother Minister in the Nation of Islam. And again, I know that there is still a celebration of the life of our mother, Sister Khadijah Farrakhan, and the family. And it's good to see the brothers and the sisters, the NOI, the MGT, GCC, and all of the affiliates and networking partners, even with that, the family coming together to show support and standing together and out and about. And it's good to see that. It's good, very good to see that. And I am a seed. I am a seed. I'm definitely connected to the tree, to the branch, to the roots. I have a branch, you know, and I'm representing the way that I represent, but 100% on the side of truth and on the side of right, as best as I can understand that and demonstrate that. So shout out to that. Also, I want to say shout out to Brother J. Paul and his show after the break, the interview and the many interviews that he has done and is doing and will do, because we will be together on tomorrow, God willing, me, him, and a few other brothers. And I want to make sure that that link, when it comes through, I link it in my space so that you all can come be a part of that, of men elevating, men wanting to give back, men wanting to visit things that perplex our minds, how we look at things from the masculine principle perspective, and what actions are we taking out here? What are we doing to make life just a little bit more better through our declaration of wanting to participate in being a part of the solution and not a part of the problem. So I want to give a shout out to Brother J. Paul after the break. Also want to give an acknowledgement and a major solid salute out to the networking partners, Queen Black Radio, Black Roots Entertainment, most certainly Miss Cheesecake, and the Poetry Line on Spotify. You can find that sister and other platforms. And also want to give a shout out to Empress, or Goddess Supreme, and Soft Girl Era, and many more in my family. My niece Ralia Jackson, and the beautiful work that she's doing in cinematography right here in Jacksonville and abroad, as well as my niece Keela, the Lemonade Queen. My niece Keela and her and just her drive and her hustle. You know what I'm saying? And pretty much all of my nieces and nephews, and I got cousins, of course, right here on in YouTube. You can find my cousin CJ Gardening with Goo, and my beautiful auntie Aunt Tiny, okay, Mama Goo, as y'all know her in the social media field. But to us, that's Aunt Tiny. You know what I'm saying? That's our star, and we love her. And y'all check them out as well, man. If you want to know something about gardening, about growing the most beautiful products, produce, man, check my cousin out. He got the green thumb, amongst other things. Like to go out there and fish as well, because that's what we are, the type of family like that. So I love that they teach and demonstrate on how to have a better, healthier lifestyle with your eating. And all that is a part of the conversation of culture and refinement. And I want to give a shout out to my cousin, my aunt, and my cousin Myron, the Jerks of St. Lucie County, and Camilo TV, and all the affiliates up out of Fort Pierce and surrounding places, and whoever they networking with and connected with. And more to come. I got more people that I want to discuss, and got a few people that want to be on this stage, and they're gonna be coming, and y'all will be seeing that real soon. So we about to get into today's conversation. We already 8 minutes into this segment, and I could go on and on. There's so many people to acknowledge, so many people I want to acknowledge, and maybe throughout the show I can put in a few more put in a few more plugs on some of the people that I know that's in social media working and doing what they have to do. Okay. So last week we was wrapping up refinement, you know, and we went through a breakdown. I'm gonna do just a little small recap here on some of the stuff that we've talked about thus far. But if you want to get the gist of what was being said in this program, please go back and visit this page, my page, Circle of God Point 6, which is my second page here on YouTube, and get part 1 and 2. You know what I'm saying? So you can put it in full context of what was being said. And inside of that conversation, please feel free to use your own mind, your own perception, do your own research, whatever it is that you need to do to grasp, if it's of interest to you, what culture and refinement is and why we need it. Why we need it, or why do we think we already have it? Because we talk a lot about our culture. This is our culture this, our culture that. But are we really stopping to ask each other, what does that really mean? Because it can be taken in many different contexts, many different people size it up and they have these conversations. I just hope within side of the hope that we can come together and definitely come to a point that we can agree, you know what I'm saying, that when it comes to culture, that it's not an individual thing per se, but there is a underlining foundation that says when it comes to principles and morals, when it comes to how we maintain as a people, how we move forth as a people, how we secure ourselves, how we protect ourselves, how we treat our our feminine principles, our children, our communities and the society at large that we live in, that we have an understanding that when it comes back down to it, that we want respect. And we have to be the architects of that respect towards one another. And that starts with the self community. And that is a part of culture and refinement. So I'm gonna do a recap here of what we done here. And again, this is some of the material that I was studying while I was in there. This is a typed up print. So, might be some grammatical errors in the or typos, put it like that. But it's intact. And this is some of the things that I studied, things that helped shape my mind and started to move me in a direction where I can be here doing what I'm doing and do it with the type of mentality to help, you know. So we had already gone through culture and what that meant. And I'll just read through these really quick and get down to the meat of what we got popping off today. Um, in culture and refinement, culture was the first one. Point one was act of improving or developing by education or discipline. Point two, the enlightenment and discipline acquired by mental and moral training. Point number three, and advanced state of society in which a high level of improvement or development in manners, language, walking, standing, sitting, science, religion, and government has been reached. Point number four of culture, the sum total ways of living built up by a group of human beings, chosen angels, which is transmitted from one generation to another. So that was the basis of culture for us. And hopefully it sparked in those who have listened and those who pay attention to that. And if you desire to delve a little deeper, that all of those things that define what culture is from this context, this perspective, is something that is good. Improving and developing by education or discipline. I know as a people, we know we need some discipline in some areas. I know I need some personally in my life. But part one and two, y'all please go back and get that. Discipline, point one on discipline was a system of essential rules and duties for improving or developing. Refinement, point number one, the manifestation of culture. Point number two, the finest of feelings, taste. The finest of feeling and taste. Point number three, elegance of manner or language, etc. Point number four, act of refining, state of being refined. Point number five, a subtle distinction. And also inside that word refinement, we took refine, to free or be free from what is coarse or impurities. Point number two, to purify or be purified from what is coarse or debasing. And we took it a little further and we broke down fine from refine and we took out fine because we want to make sure that we get to the point of what this part that will be the element that makes it a little bit more smooth in your life due to information, right knowledge, right understanding, and right guidance, right? A more mature and more God and goddess activated personality or character or being. You know what I'm saying? Doing excellent things in the way of positivity. Also, point number one of fine, of the highest or of a very high grade or quality, free from impurities. Point number two, choice. Excellent. Point number three, highly skilled or accomplished. Point number four, trained to the proper degree. And that's where we were with that. So I just wanted to do that small recap. I try to do that every time I come back, just to put us back in that frame of mind of what we talking about here and where we're going with this conversation. I, for one, as a mental and spiritual being living this human experience, by the grace of the creator who allowed me opportunities to do something different and put my life back in some kind of order after being in disorder for a great part of my life. Doing things and acting in such ways that was not beneficial to self or to others. You know, decisions and choices that led me away from my family and friends and life to the penitentiaries and prison houses for 28 plus years. And what that transitioned into on my leaving the prison, the different things that I've been through since I've been home. Some still having the marks of good focus when it comes to culture and refinement, but then in others, there has been some slippage. And what I mean by slippage, they call it backsliding in the Christian form or context of what that is. Meaning you acquire some disciplines and then you kind of fell off. And it's easy to do that, as we are not perfect beings, but we do have and have been granted opportunities through intellect, or what they call intellect, common sense, to be able to decipher and discern things as to what we should and should not be doing, because the experience is supposed to teach us what is good for us, what is bad for us, what is deadly, and what can save life. And if we're not on that thought process, we already out of order. And I'm just here to show us that we were brought into this system out of and taken through a course to keep us out of order, and thus the need for culture and refinement in so many different sectors of the human population. And that covers the board of all people, irregardless of creed, class, or color, what I'm saying, nationality, or any of those things that we have been stamped and branded with as far as titles are concerned. Titles that make us think we different, by the way. And titles that make us act in such a way because we're so saturated in the definitions of what was branded on us that we can't even use our own minds to see that it's hurting us instead of helping us. So we become savages to each other, looking down on each other, taking this old fictitious totem pole that was made up and given values for uh the different titled, whether that's rich or poor, or whether that's black, white, red, brown, or yellow, or whether that's Democrat or Republican or independent, whether that's Christian, Muslim, Hebrew, Jew. It goes on and on and on and on. So it'll take what could be potentially good people, and it just morphs us into something that's even lower than our animal state. It makes you an intentional slave to corruption and savagery. And that's what's being demonstrated on us every day of our lives, from up top and right here where we lay, and how we demonstrate that to each other through the debasing things that we do and regulating each other to that standard of lower than animals. So we need culture and refinement in a major way. I know I do. I'm not gonna sit here and lie, pretend, and all, and think that, listen, I can pray 1,000,000 times a day, but if change don't come in the form of action, meaning you thought it, you look through it, you see what's good and what's better, and putting that into action. Because if there's no action gonna come behind the thought, then you just thinking, and thoughts that's just being thought without no action, it ain't gonna produce nothing. Faith without works is dead, is pretty much what I'm saying. So we ended up through that situation. Yeah. We ended up through that situation and we got through that. So I'm gonna get here with the word elegant. We're gonna start this in the part 3 and see how far we can get with this. I'm gonna try to stay within the parameters of what I want to do here. I try to get within 45 minutes. Sometime it may go over, but I think I can be able to finish. At least we'll do a part 4, because I don't think I'm gonna finish today. But I want to get into this part of it. And the next thing on our list is elegance. And I compel and I encourage people that when you hear these words, even though I'm reading off the definitions that's in front of me, go back and put that thing in your search engine, look that thing up and study. We're talking about doing something or thinking something in this conversation that repairs what is broken. There are a lot of broken people, and in your own life, all the complaining that you do. Oh, I'm tired as hell. They working me like hell. My children bad as hell. My man is nasty as hell. My woman ain't about nothing. She just hell all around us. Every situation, everything is just I'm living from paycheck to paycheck. Sick of these bills. Sick of these people that thinking that they greater than God. I'm tired of racism. I'm tired. You know what I'm saying? And then we participate in some of the most foolish of things that don't bring no light, no pleasure outside of that carnal type stuff. No spiritual edification at all. No mental growth that says, let me take ownership and let me make adjustments that I can become an asset instead of a liability, right? So that word elegant, point number one, tastefully fine or luxurious in dress, manner, etc. Tastefully fine. Tastefully. Have you ever, I'm gonna put it in this context. I know I'm a food lover. I love food. I'm a foodie. I love good tasting food. I love the richness of it. I love the process because I do cook. My culinary art skills are pretty well intact, you know. And I have a creative mind if I want to get in there and just create some things based off of what I know about cooking, you know, cleanliness, how to prep it, how to season it, and the proper times to cook it, and doing certain checks to make sure they are up to temperature so that certain things won't infect the food and cause sickness, you know. And all of those things play a part. See, that's what culture and refinement is. It gives you the parameter of what makes things safe so you can get a good product. You feel what I'm saying? So tastefully fine. Have you ever taste something your mama cooking or your grandma cooking or an uncle or a male in your family that had great skills in cooking, right? And you try something for the first time. You probably never had something. For case in point, my mom was cooking some frog legs one day. I came home and I could smell my mama cooking coming from down where I was coming from. It's in the aroma is in the air. And for some reason, you know your mama cooking, you know, because you right there, your nose is right there. That is all around you, it permeates. So I could smell a bunch of cooking going on, but I knew my mama cooking, you know. So I smelt them ingredients, I smelt those herbs and spices that she used. Her technique. So when I get in the house, you know, I'm already salivating at the mouth. I want some of this good cooking. I know mama, you know, when she cooking this, you know, even though we in the kind of in the hood here, she did it with such elegance and grace. You know, she put love into it. I say, oh man, they put so much love into it. Well, you stuck your foot in it. She stuck your foot in that pot. Means you put some love in it. So I'm sitting there, and of course, I'm salivating. I'm ready to eat something. And mama cooking. I'm like, I don't know. You know, I know what she normally cook. So I happen to look, and what I see visually, it appears to be some chicken wings. At least that's what I'm thinking it is, some chicken wings. And mama, I just want to get a piece before it's done and it's dinner time or whatever. Or you gotta wait. I want to have a taste of that right now. Like, mama, I need some of that right now. Um, and mama, like, you don't want none of this, boy. You don't want none of this. I said, Mama, yes, I do. I do. I do. I promise you, I do. Right. So, mama, yeah. So, mama say she looking at me, and I didn't see her setting it up. Like, this boy always asking his little greedy ass, and he don't even know what he asking for. He thinking his mind is something that he familiar with, but he don't know that these ain't no chicken wings. These frog legs. So, mama tell me to go look in the refrigerator and grab that bag so she can add some more, right? So when I open the refrigerator up, I'm excited. I'm gonna grab this bag of chicken wings, give it to mom so she can cook some more chicken so I can get me a piece of chicken, right? And when I went to reach and I seen the bag, no color, that ain't no chicken. Why that look? Oh, them, them mama, them look like frog legs. She said, "That's what you're eating, baby. That's what you say you want to taste." I said, "It's good. It's good. It's mama. Tastes like chicken." But because mama understood the process of preparing a good meal, and she did with such elegance, it made the taste. It's just the technique, her seasoning game. Now, to some people, frog legs will sound disgusting. To us country bumpkins, and I'm a country boy, and I'm proud to be that. You know, I ain't got no qualms with that. Call me country, that would not be an insult to me. It's not an insult. You know what I'm saying? I do understand that country means you're more close to nature than most, you know. And that's a good thing. Yeah, that could be a great thing if properly understood. But that's what it was. So that taste, getting back to what I'm saying, see, elegance has a certain when it don't been through a process of refinement, you know, it becomes better. It has a better grade, a better quality of it. That's what we experience, or that is what is suggested to the mind. This is the best quality. And when they commercialize that, you know, and I'm not getting away from the subject because this is about culture refinement. Culture refinement has a lot to do with mentality, psychology. That's what it's all about. You know, we can be sold on going to some expensive restaurant like Ruth Chris. Oh, they got, and trust me, I done been into some high quality restaurants with work and met some real top notch chefs. They cook with very um intentional and preciseness when it comes to taste and flavors, you know. Um, but there are some parents and some mothers and grandmas that will that rival these people. And they ain't never went through the courses, but they perfectly know how to season and blend without even measurements. You know what I'm saying? So that's a higher form of understanding of chemistry as well with that blend because that's what's happening. A chemistry class is happening when you in the kitchen and you're cooking. But that taste, when you taste mama cornbread or you taste her chicken, her rice, her cabbage, or macaroni and cheese, or her tuna salad, or whatever it is that mama touch, or grandma or great grandma. Oh man, it brings joy to your palate. Your taste buds just be now think about somebody just not putting no love into cooking and they don't use no seasoning. They just throw the damn duck in the pot or the chicken in the pot and just boil the hell out of it and don't put no flavor or no nothing. Take whatever. Now some may say that's the best way to eat it. And you know, maybe if you ate it raw, wouldn't that be better? But I'm just saying, when it comes to a certain quality of taste, and I'm just using food. I'm not gonna argue about what food is best, what food is not. You know your research on that. You know what you heard. If you ain't researching, you need to know what's going in your body, how it affects the body. We all should know those things. But the elegance is what I'm trying to get at. I just wanted to say as much as I could to say the bigness of what elegance is, right? Tastefully fine and luxurious in dress, you know, impeccable in dress, luxurious, what we call luxury. What some people call Gucci, that's a luxury, you know. Uh, what else they got out there? Gucci, Dior, that's luxury. And I don't know some of these higher brands. I ain't on that realm yet. You know what I'm saying? Of what they call luxury, the furs and chinchillas and the fox and these items that be costing upwards of 50 to $100,000 just for a jacket, a $10,000 pair of pants, and all this kind of stuff. See, they say that's luxurious. Yeah, yeah. But in your mind, when you see a mansion that's with a lawn that's manicured, where things are this don't have no dust on it, the house is shine and sparkle where it's supposed to be shiny is shiny and just smell. And then you look at a project, man. You look at rat roach infested feces all over the damn place, dog laying on shit on top. Excuse my profanities, but I gotta paint that picture. When you put them two pictures together, one's gonna make you cringe, and the other one's gonna make you like, yeah, yeah. We supposed to have the best of the best, not not being stuck on materialism, but understanding that with quality, understanding the value of cleanliness. You understand what I'm saying? That's a part of culture and refinement. Those things that promote life, not disease, which is death. So we live in a culture that kind of promotes an image, but from a perspective of materializing the mind, as opposed to understanding the value of high quality, as opposed to low quality things that are designed that your life is a part of, and that could affect your life. So no, we don't want to be in rat and roach infested places. We don't want to be in high crime areas, and we have to grow up that way. Some people, we live that way. We grow up that way. A lot of noise, a lot of corruption. You know, you see a lot of death, the stench of it, a lot of ridiculing, a lot of manipulation, a lot of gossiping, a lot of um homes that have fatherless homes or drug addicted homes, brutality going on. That is not culture and refined. That's nothing refined in that. And so we see these things, we live these things, and sometimes we feel helpless. We don't know how can I get out of it. And we try all kind of ways to get out of it, but the more you try, seem like the more you get stuck in it for some people. And then you actually, through the grace of the creator, as I'm saying on my part, when true intervention comes and you really at that place where you want to sit down and listen, when you stop trying to think that you can do it on your own and you the smartest person in the room and can't nobody else tell you nothing because I'm gonna live my life. Can't nobody tell me nothing. I'm gonna do what I want to do. And then doing what you want to do and living your life, you see yourself stuck all the time. Obviously, you don't know what the hell you're doing. Obviously, I don't know what the hell I'm doing because you still in the rat and roach infested mentality. And you can have a clean house. See, this is mental now. You can have a clean house, but have a raggedy ass mind, or infected mind, or privileged, overprivileged mind, over in entitled mind, and everything about that mind is death, funky, stank, ugh. And nobody wants to be around that. Nobody wants to be around that. Not even the people that's in it that don't know how to get out of it. That's why you always scream, I gotta get out. I need to hit the lotto one time. What you want to hit the lotto for? Because I'm tired of these bills. I'm tired of getting up, going to this cantankerous ass job and with these culture and refinement put you in a different mode. It makes you want to get up and do something for yourself. It makes you want to go back and recalculate or make the adjustments to recalculate how you're moving out here because some of us can be in some better situations. We just mismanage money. I'm sitting here confession. Mismanage money. Think we can help everybody in the world? You can't help everybody in the world when your shit ain't together. While you out here helping everybody else, and we living one check away from being in a goddamn garbage can. Come on, come on, make it make sense. So, but that mentality, we want to create that mentality. I'm supposed to have the best, not that the material make me who I am. I just understand that I can value something that's that if it's intended to bring better quality to my life, then cool. I live in this system. Clothes cost money. I don't make my own clothes, and if I did, and shout out to the people that do. You know what I'm saying? I've been posting that too of the MGT and that sewing machine and the elegance of that dress that they wear. And the suits and the different things of the tailors that do the suits and the elegance of that. Because if you remember in time, back in the day, I want to say granddaddy day, great granddaddy in them day, even the poets of the post still wanted to look decent when they had the opportunity to do it. There'll be in some shoes, some dress shoe and slacks with a jacket on, a tie, clean shirt. Might have on a whole hat, fedora or something, or a hat. They were clean, poor but clean, because they felt that they wanted the value to be known that I value myself. At least I'm attempting to. But today I walk around and see people. I don't be knowing whether to talk because some of them just we dress stink. You look stink like you ain't had a bath in weeks. It's almost like back in the day. Don't cover that damn mustiness up with more deodorant and cologne. Now you you got a sweet smelling mess over here. And that's I'm saying culture and refinement. Anyway, let's get to it. Manners. It matters was up in there, etc. Luxurious in dress and manners. Manners. You know, it's still crazy to me that when I'm out and about in the community and just from my form of being in this process, because I'm still in the classroom of coaching and refinement, because I need it. You know, I'm always aware that self-improvement, we always need improvement. And you know where you need it at. Only you know, you and the creator. Okay. But it still kind of like baffles me when I go somewhere and I see an elder. It could be a brother or it could be a sister, a mother, a father, an elder, or just some young person, you know, and you stop and you hold that door. I can be walking up and nobody's holding the door for each other. People ain't even speaking to each other. And it's like when you do it, sometimes it catch people, oh, damn, did he really speak to me? Hey, good morning to you, or good afternoon, or how you doing, sister? How you doing, brother? Stuff like that. And hold the door. Some of the grandmothers and some of the sisters, they be like pleasantly surprised, like, damn, and you're not looking for nothing for that. It's just my mannerisms. I want to be a gentleman, you know. Culture and refinement for us as men, it make you different. Like I see a ma'am, do you need any help with that? I'm not trying to, intrude in your space, but that bag looks kind of heavy, and this is an elder sister or elder brother. So in culture and refinement, the elegant mind make you think in that way. These are people of value, and aren't we supposed to serve? Not foolishly, but serve. And that's what mannerisms come through a refined state of mind that's been taken out of a negative programming. Now we own some positive programming now. The mind is being programmed to do right, and then the body moves off of that command, doing right. So also we have point number 2, gracefully refined in taste and habit. Gracefully with grace, not flamboyant, not screaming, gracefully, with ease, with intentional effort and initiations, uh, good intent to do something good. So gracefully refined as it's going through this process, learning how to hold itself in check, learning how to take the emotional part and subdue it with truth and discipline, and saying, "Hey, I can't let envy be out of control. I can't let hatred be out of control in myself. I can't let these things that could cause disturbances in my peace and the peace of others around me be the way. No, I got to do something different." So gracefully refined, meaning becoming more aware. Your taste for things. One time you probably just had a taste for just seeing booty clapping or booty clapping. Your taste, savage animal, lower than animal. But when you start seeing the value of sister, right? You start seeing the value of a thing, you know, and you have gone through this process gracefully. You're learning to value the self, and that's where it starts. You start treating different. Sister get treated different, you know. One time your taste was despicable, now you got a better taste, and that taste mentally is, I would like to see this sister in a situation where no harm can come to her or to my brother, to that brother. So my taste is changing. I don't want to do something that'll take them further down a rabbit hole and destroy them. So I don't want to participate in that. And that's what we're striving to get to. Nose getting a little stopped though. Okay, we had 39 minutes and we on course. So point number 3, nice choice or pleasingly superior in quality and kind. A nice choice. Have you ever made a nice choice? Yeah. I love these stories. A nice choice. quantity or quality? Huh? Quantity or quality? Big Ma said, and that's my great aunt. Shout out to my great aunt, Big Lily, the candy lady, Heartland Coat. You already know what time it is. And I remember me and my sister, my older sister Tina. We would get summer jobs. Big Ma, that was a requirement. You're gonna get you a summer job. You gonna go to work, okay? Then you can make you some money, and that'll give you some authorities to pick and choose what you want to do when it came to buying your school clothes and things of that nature. Okay. So Big Mom, we working, and she asked me a question one time. Do you want me to buy these school clothes, or do you want to get your own? And me knowing that Big Mom them, they like to be saving and stuff. They gonna go get the shoes, and they gonna be some BSTs, and man, I don't want no damn BSTs. I don't want everybody to laugh at me. You know what I'm saying? She gonna go to some old thrifty shop somewhere. She gonna go to the JC Penney's. She gonna go to the Payless, and early, 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 right? Now, the type of shoes that I want to get, the quality is gonna be a little better. But the lesson is, I wasn't thinking about the quality. I was thinking about the image, how other people was gonna view that. I've heard the jokes of the BSTs. I had some tracks. They had some shoes back in the day called tracks. You could buy them jokes at the Piggly Wiggy, some damn well, right? It was just a plastic damn shoe. You might get you a good week worth out of them or more if you're not doing nothing strenuous in them shoes. Like you ain't finna go out and play no ball in them type of shoes. Your foot coming up out of it. We call them BSTs, bullshit tennises. That's what we call them. And again, excuse my profanities. Not trying to be vulgar. I gotta stay real the way I know how to stay real. I don't mean to offend. But when Big Ma asked me that, of course, I'm thinking, I want to buy my own clothes. So, and her thought process on that was, you're gonna go and probably get 2 or 3 outfits. I can get you 10, 15, you know, and I'm like, nah. I'm thinking Adidas, I'm thinking name brand. Yeah, 'cause when I go to school, I want to be sporty. But what you ain't thinking about, and it made sense after the fact, years after the fact, when I had time to revisit that thought process, you just getting enough clothes to last you for a couple days. That means you're gonna have to be wearing them same clothes or trying to do something else to get more clothes. That means you're gonna have to do more. When you can get you about 15 of these outfits, you got enough stuff to wear for 2 weeks, and then you can alter. See, I didn't understand the lesson because there was no culture refinement in the mind. I was just the old kid that wanted to be looked at as something, and that I really wasn't. You a little kid in these projects, man. And the projects, I'm not saying it's so many good people in those projects, man. A lot of good people, a lot of bad ones. I guess a lot of good people in some good areas, and there's a lot of bad ones in them same good areas too. That's not the point. But the point here that I'm making is that um my habits, my taste and my habits, my choice. I didn't make the nice choice. I made a choice in the context in which I'm saying this. I made the choice based off how somebody would look at me. I didn't want to be laughed at or ridiculed because I had on cheap shoes or cheap clothes. But then when I went and bought my outfits, it was true. I only had a couple outfits. You know what I'm saying? So now you got to go back into your old stuff, and then you had that on last year. I mean, that's stupid. But that's what happened when you up on the negative programming. All right, let's get to the next one. The fourth one is excellent, fine, superior. We don't been through fine. Excellent is meaning it's at the highest, a higher grade in its state. It's almost in a perfect state. It's excellent. It's above average. You know what I'm saying? It's excellent. And that's the way the mind, we want to strive to work the mind. because in doing these things, it's going to help us understand our inner G. It's going to give us any understanding of our inner G, our source, where we pull our energy from, our energy, to give us the opportunities to move in a way that is becoming of someone who is cultured and refined, that understand its or understand its energy, and how to use that, how to invest that, how to reap from that. Okay. And that's what it is. And so that is elegant. And I think I got time to do one more, and that will be subtle. See, of all the beasts in the field, the serpent was more subtle. You know that word. Uh-huh. Subtle, is a I'm a sneak up on you type of a word. Like just lightly lay on you, subtle. In that conversation with somebody talking and they just ease some more slick shit up in the subtly, you know what I'm saying? And subtle can catch you off guard in ways, man, that if you ain't up on what time it is with that there, you can be led down some paths, man, that can be very dark. So in subtle, we have point number one: fine or delicate, often when likely to elude one's perception and understanding. Point number two: fine and mysterious. Point number three: um, requiring mental acuteness, penetration, or discernment. Point number four: skilled, clever. And listen, let this be one of those words that you look at every day, subtle, right? And try to understand it on how it plays within your self community, your own mind, and how you can subtly do something that's so negative or diabolical. Because that's where the first line got to start with the self. And then how to detect that in other people. You know what I'm saying? Excuse me. We have to acquire those skills. So subtle, fine or delicate, fine or delicate. It's some wordsmiths out here. People that understand etymology, uh, they'll bust you up in conversation. They will bust you up in conversation because they understand roots of words. That's why in a conversation against Malcolm X, somebody that studied the dictionary, as it is said, he studied it from front to cover, memorized it, understood it, then got deeper. So in a conversation to the average person, or even with some that got skills, they're gonna run circles around you and I. If you don't understand the cleverness and the skills of someone that understands the power of word, the power of handcuffing a mind and getting it to do what you suggest to it. That's why they say the serpent or the arch deceiver. It was the arch deceiver. And you know what a deceiver is. You don't deceive many people, haven't you? You know you just I'm gonna speak for myself. Yes, deception that's a part of negative programming. That's a part of the package. Because in that there it keeps up a part of that confusion that can be controlled by those that dictate the terms of what we live in the system that we live. And so we have to understand that subtle thing, perception in the often when likely, think about this, people will often, when likely, elude one's perception. People are always trying to not show you the real them. You know what I'm saying? They hide. You know what I'm saying? Some people don't want you to see the dirt on them, and they out trying to act a certain type of way. No, see, a naive person will fall for that. A person that's not naive, they looking at you like you think I'm an idiot. Nah. It's just a matter of time when I pull the plug on this BS you got going on, and vice versa. And vice versa. So we have to be very aware of these things and of people's perceptions and understanding of certain things, but mainly your own. requiring mental acuteness, man. Mental acuteness, like you got to be on point, acute, small, accurate. Yeah, accurate. Woo, boy, it's some big things being said right here because if we don't acquire these things, if we don't build, if we don't cultivate, if we don't nourish the mind in a way, it won't have no defense, no protection at all. And that's what we're seeing out here. I'm in social media a lot, and I'm telling you, what they call in culture fighting. Our females are more manly now than the boys. Females out here jacking dudes up, putting hands on them. They pulling out pistols and wild westing it, just like everybody else out here. And with that comes another form of destruction. And it's our young girls now, in particular. And I just want to tell some of them, the jailhouse is still built for you too. They built them for you. I know some people after 28 years, I met a lot of sisters in there that got some big numbers, just like the men, you know. But the loss of femininity and masculinity in this world is very intentional. I see it as an intentional thing being done. And I just want us to be aware. I'm not saying I'm living perfect. I'm just sharing this information because, like I said, I'm in this with everybody else. I'm in the thick of it. I'm in the trenches with you. I'm learning as well, building as well. And I'm going to continue to do what I can do as long as the Creator grant me life to be able to do this. And I want to have further conversations with y'all, like for real, on top of that there. So we at the 51-minute mark here. So I'm getting ready to close this down. I just want to say to everybody, it was a beautiful share for me. I don't mind doing this here. I don't mind coming. I just want more participation. I'm hoping more people will gravitate to it and at least share it. Maybe you know somebody that need to hear these conversations. And if you can do me the honor and show the love to share with somebody that you know could probably use this information, please do so as well. And I thank you for that. And so, in my closing, I would like to say again, progress requires in our worlds and systems what we call time to develop. We have to become students of the experience because we're living it in real time, those things that give us the experience. So we need to understand within those experiences, what did I do to bring that joy? You know what I'm saying? What did I do to set myself up to receive that joy or receive that opportunity? And what did I do in my thought process to put myself in a position to receive that pain? Because once we learn to do that and stop pointing the finger at other people for every damn thing that we go through, once we can learn to get to that part of the cultural, meaning a mentality again, not food, not dance, not entertainment, that these are byproducts as far as I'm concerned. Culture and refinement is the way that you want to be perceived in your abilities to be a good person, right? That's what I'm saying. That when people see you, they don't see savage, they don't see out of control, they don't see blamer. They see in real time a person that's not trying to make themselves be something that they're not, but a good, genuine person that want to do right and do better. And we have the ability to do these things. We really do. So I'm going to say these three things as I leave. Protect yourself at all times because it's dangerous out here. Okay? Keep your head on a swivel. Use your mind. Because if you don't use your mind, somebody else will. These are the facts. We'll be back for part 4 next time. It's been beautiful. I am the Icon. Make sure y'all come in, subscribe here. We are the City Network, Circle of the Gods, .6 right here on my YouTube channels. It's free and share. Oh man, I feel good about it. So good about it. Till next time, I see y'all, man. God bless. And it's been love.
Presence of the truth, there are no cracks. You can't penetrate the armor. I'm not about that fussing. I'm not about that debating. I'm here for love. I'm here to help the people. Let the angels of death do what they do. Yeah, the messenger. That's right. I'm just the messenger. That's right. Pay attention to the story here. I'm only going to tell it once. Scruffily made. I'm part of the game, but the game defamed me, so I had to maintain. Push back on the other side to let them know when it come to war, I'm ready to ride. But not the war you thinking about. That's man-made. I'm on spiritual, lifted nature. Then the laws that govern that, that's what it is. I can't transcend. I gotta stand on that. 10 toes down with 10 fingers. I'm all grounded.